Broadcasting live from Euclidosity. Monkey Rhetoric.
Welcome to Monkey Rhetoric. I am your host, Elizabeth, and this evening we will be taking an in-depth look at some of the social and subjective implications of the Internet. First, we will look at some socio-historical viewpoints on technology to help us understand how thinking about technology has and has not shifted since the Enlightenment. Number 1. The myth of moral neutrality. From the Enlightenment tradition, we inherited a dominant rhetoric of technology where it is seen as a tool that can be used for good or evil. However, it is fundamentally up to the individual user. Within this myth, the development of new technologies and the practice of scientific research is viewed as an endeavor that is inherently free of ethical issues or moral considerations, as long as it is in the hands of the researcher or developer. Once the results or product are made public, then the ethical responsibility is relegated to individual users and society as a whole. There are many examples of the myth of moral neutrality throughout history. However, the dropping of the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and later on Nagasaki are poignant reminders that all technology is intrinsically bound in the web of politics and values. The second technological ontology we will look at is the myth of technology as progress. We will now hear from our in-house expert, Dr. William Still.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I am here to speak about the myth of technology as progress, which also stems from the Enlightenment tradition. It is a myth based on the belief that technology is a catalyst or agent of social change, often under the guise of progress. This myth perpetuates the notion that technology will fix the problems facing humanity and brings to mind the common expression necessity is the mother of invention. This perspective of technology is still very much alive and prevalent today. For example, while climate change seems to be the red flag which has catalyzed a global revolution for the development of eco-efficient technologies, few governments have committed their nations to a deeper analysis of the underlying systemic issues, like consumption, which are exacerbating greenhouse gas emissions. Recently, Canada did indeed prescribe to this myth of the technological fix. Stephen Harper is proposing carbon dioxide capture and storage as the main strategy for mitigating emissions. Rodney, will you please roll the clip?
This new technology, carbon capture and storage, is the subject of today's announcement. When fully commercialized, it will collect carbon dioxide emissions from oil sands operations and coal-fired electrical plants and seal them deep underground. Proving this technology on a commercial scale is key to reducing Canada's greenhouse gas emissions. In fact, according to the Carbon Capture and Storage Task Force, between 1/3 and 1/2 of Canada's projected greenhouse gas emissions could potentially be stored underground by 2050. This technology would make Canada a world leader in clean energy production and make our energy products all the more attractive in an increasingly carbon-conscious global marketplace.
You see, this exemplifies the lack of long-term vision or systemic understanding of the intertwined relationship between society, technology, and the ecosphere. Thank you, and over to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Dr. William Still. What are those Canadians thinking? Now we will look at a third myth, where technology is viewed as out of control. We will now turn to our literary scholar, Ms. Brooks.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Good afternoon. Today I would like to speak about technological determinism. It is characterized by the romantic reaction to the Enlightenment. In fact, Mary Shelley's novel Frankenstein brilliantly captures the anxiety and fear over the fast changes occurring in industrializing England. In the upcoming clip you will see Dr. Frankenstein nervously responding to the creature. Rodney, please roll the clip.
Remember that I have power. I can make you so wretched that the light of day will be hateful to you. You are my creator, but I am your master.
You can see that the creature is perceived as harmful and potentially very dangerous to society. Within the myth of technological determinism, technology like the creature is given an autonomy, which is beyond the control of human beings in society. While Mary Shelley completed Frankenstein in 1817, this myth is still widely believed in contemporary culture. William Gibson's cyberpunk novel, Neuromancer, was written in 1984, which is ironically the title of George Orwell's classic dystopia and the year before the launch of the Internet. Hayes, the protagonist, spends his waking hours either high on a drug called Octagon or inside the integrated circuit of cyberspace. In Neuromancer, urbanization has turned independent cities by today's standards into large interconnected centers. For example, Miami to Boston has become one metropolis. Like Frankenstein, there is a prevailing theme that when life exists outside the natural order, self-destruction and misery are inevitable. This myth perpetuates the notion that the natural order has been lost to the maelstrom of the machine, that the future of both nature and humanity will be determined by technology. Thank you and have a nice day.